Being alone and feeling lonely is not a character flaw, but I understand why some people might feel like it is. Nowadays, the constant message we get on social media when it comes to being alone is you need to be more extroverted, you need to have more friends, you have to be out all the time, hustling and working, you have to be busy 24/7, when in reality, it's not about any of that. As someone who had 10 friends and 0 friends at some point in life, here's what I've learned. Would you believe me if I told you that I was feeling so lonely when I had a big group of friends? And I felt so happy and at peace with myself when I lost every single one of them. And it's not because people or circumstances have changed. It's because I did. The past 3 months, I was losing friends left and right because my standards and my priorities became different. I wasn't fitting in with so many people for so many different reasons. I wasn't accepted in workplaces or friendship groups, especially for my political and religious beliefs. You wouldn't believe the amount of hate, bullying, and insults that were thrown at me. And I could have sat back and asked myself, what is wrong with me? Is it really that serious? Am I overreacting? Am I overthinking this? It turned out it was that serious. Because what do you mean? Being surrounded and liked by people is more important than standing up for what is right. Especially because those are the type of people that will love you now as long as you agree with them, but they will trash you and drag you through the mud the next day if you happen to bring a perspective that doesn't align with theirs. If you're afraid of being alone, you should be even more terrified of life passing you by and realizing that you spend so much of your time with people who don't make you feel heard, that don't make you feel like you're being valued and respected for who you are. Become scared of spending time with people who don't bring out the best in you, and become terrified of the fact that you want to be friends with anyone except yourself to the point it makes your bones shake. I'm not gonna lie, it takes guts to be you. Being alone can be very uncomfortable. It might even feel humiliating. But being alone can also be a very liberating, healing experience. And the deciding factor is knowing the difference between loneliness and solitude. That is why I brought back the two versions of you. The one that enjoys solitude, she feels calm and at peace. She is alone by choice and she loves it. She uses the time to rest, self-reflect, and get in touch with herself. Solitude recharges and gives her energy. This one, on the other hand, might feel alone even among a crowd. She might wish for more friends, but she doesn't see them or her family enough. She feels unhappy and isolated, but not by choice. She doesn't like being alone because she craves social relationships. It causes her to experience feelings of disconnection by draining her motivation and energy. And both of them exist, but you decide which one you tap into. And you do that by identifying what you really need. It is so important to ask yourself what you really crave. And I don't use this word often, but I hate the aesthetic social media solo dating advice when it comes to feeling lonely. I am all about romanticizing your life, but feeling alone is not an aesthetic that a trend can fix. If you're feeling lonely sometimes and you're craving human connection, which is okay, it's important to know that grabbing a matcha alone or going to a cafe for a solo date won't help you, because you can't satisfy your need with something that you don't need in the first place. You can compare it to wanting to eat chocolate but eating an apple instead. And now you ate that apple, but you're still craving chocolate. So you're back to square one. So let's stop acting and telling people like we don't ever need the company of others, because we do, and that is normal human behavior. But it's also not about needing just anyone. You need the right people in your life. Don't let your loneliness consume you to the point where you're tippy-toeing around people, hoping they would like to become your friend, and you're completely ignoring and abandoning yourself on the way. In one of my previous videos, I was talking about reciprocity in social relationships, if you want to check that out. So I won't be getting into much detail right now, but think about reciprocity when you're around other people. Don't create power dynamics in your mind and fake scenarios that don't exist. Ask yourself, do I want this person to be my friend? Do our beliefs and values align? If they don't, are we still able to have a productive, respectful conversation? Those are the things that matter the most, because you don't want to be surrounded by a bunch of people and still end up feeling completely alone. The same things apply for solitude. Solo dates, matcha, sunsets, journaling, all of those things might help you feel connected to yourself again. Journaling and spending time alone helped me tap into my creativity again. And it helped me figure out what I like and what I dislike. But the reality is also That is not what solitude looks like for everyone. Because honestly, why do we feel the need to document everything? We act like if no one saw it, then it didn't happen. Social media is already massively changing the relationship we have with ourselves. It's full of hustle culture, ideals, fake realities. It's sending messages like if it's not productive, then it's not worth doing. But what happened to doing things just because we enjoy doing them? Not everything we do needs to be made into content. When I do things that are just for me, I am not filming them because they're for me. So this is a reminder that you're allowed, no, you're encouraged to make experiences that are just for you and no one else. As someone who puts her life on the internet, let me de-influence you. Solitude isn't always glamorous. It isn't what you always see online. Solitude might also look like being alone on Friday night, having no notifications on your phone. Nobody is watching you. Nobody's validating you because you're not performing. You're not posting it on social media. And yet you're still okay with being all by yourself and sitting with your thoughts and feelings. That is what solitude really is. Now, I can't decide for you which path you're going to take, but the next time you're in your bed scrolling, feeling lonely, having FOMO, or the next time you're home alone with just you and the presence of God, remember that life has phases, good and bad ones, and they all pass. Just something to think about because it puts things into perspective. Use being alone for something greater. Don't be one of those people that are more scared of being alone or being rejected than losing themselves. Christ called us to be salt and light. And sometimes that means standing out instead of fitting in. Not everyone will understand or agree with your choices, but I would rather lose friends in the process than lose myself and who God called and created me to be. Because I know no matter what, people come and go, and the right people won't need you to compromise your values in order to feel like you belong. Even though I lost so many people in my life, I regret nothing because I didn't sell myself out. I didn't throw my moral compass out the window. And I know I can look myself in the mirror and feel at peace with who I see. And most importantly, I don't have to hide my face in shame from God because I know I acted according to my conscience with the best knowledge I had at the time. When your identity is rooted in Christ, being alone stops feeling like rejection or punishment, and it starts feeling like protection, like a peaceful state or place where you can finally hear God's voice above everyone else's. And if all of that means standing alone for a season, I wouldn't think about it twice. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.